a little notoriety came my way because of that. I started doing some other voiceovers, and I was one of the youngest voiceover people in the country at the time, only 18, 19, 20 years old, and doing national work. And so I decided that I was going to move down to New York after graduating Boston University and become the next big voiceover guy. And I had enough clout at the time that I got a meeting with the biggest voiceover agent at the biggest voiceover agency, and I went down there thinking, this is the next thing I'm going to do. Now, another friend of a friend told this agent about my eyesight. His intention was to say, isn't this cool? The guy's got bad eyes and still does this. But it ended up kind of sandbagging me, because I got into the guy's office, biggest agent ever. I'm super excited to meet the guy. And the first thing he does is throws me a booklet. And he says, this is the first job you would get if I could get it for you. It's showtime. And this is how much copy you'd have to read during your very first session. And he said, how are you going to read it? I know about your eyes. How are you going to read it? And I was like, well, I always carry a pocket magnifier around with me. I have it with me now, a little magnifier. And I can look at the text and blow it up, and I have a fantastic memory, and I'll try and memorize it. And he stopped me, stood up, and he said, nope. He said, listen, there's 10,000 people outside that door right now that have as good a voice, or maybe not even as good a voice as you, and what they don't bring to the table is a problem. And he said, you bring a problem to the table, and I'm not going to represent you, and I can't imagine anybody would. So he sent me home. And that was the beginning, middle, and end of my voiceover career. At least that's what I thought at the time. So I went back home, and I did end up, because of my internships and everything I'd done in college and my college degree, I got a great job as the creative services director for 2 radio stations, WEEI and WRKO. Now that, unto itself, should have been a great achievement, considering just a few years earlier I'd been told by someone at the state I wouldn't even make it through elementary school. But I wanted to do more. I wanted to be a voiceover guy. I had this voice. I figured it was for a reason. And I kept at it. I kept trying to figure out ways that I could read copy. And a couple of years later, I was doing a speaking engagement at a school for the blind, and I was being walked around by a completely blind instructor who got, of all things to launch my career, he got a text. And the text was read to him by the phone, out loud. And I started thinking, what if instead of trying to read copy off of a page, I had it read to me through a computerized voice? And so I sat down with him, and this again was an organization like Miami Lighthouse that is equipped with the best technology, the best people that care, people that want to help. And I was helped to find the best voices, the best software, the best systems, and the best way to do what I wanted to do. And it took a lot of practice. Excuse me. When you get a computerized voice in your ear saying, you're listening to the Finsiders, the #1 source for Dolphins news, entertainment, and talk. And then I've got to spit it back like an actual announcer. It was difficult. You're listening to the Finsiders, the #1 source for news, information, and talk about the Dolphins. It's tricky to convert the computerized voice into an actual voice, but with help from those people and a lot of practice on my part, I was able to do it. Read, copy like everyone else. I was able to get this job with the Dolphins, to be able to work for hundreds of different radio stations. I'm the voice of the NFL on Sports USA, Sony PlayStation, The Dan Patrick Show. You've heard me at some point, I'm sure. And it's because people took time to not throw me in a corner and send me a government check. They gave me the skills that I needed, the tools that I needed, the books to be read got read, the programs on my computer that I needed were found and developed for me. And it's not all easy being legally blind. I mean, my world is this big, as far as I can reach. Anything beyond that, I can't see it, and it's not going to come to me unless I go to it. And that's what Miami Lighthouse is doing. It's expanding the world of these people, making it bigger, bringing it to them, allowing them to work and thrive within it. It almost seemed too perfect as we experienced something today. We were going down the elevator, leaving, and a woman stepped in and said, Miss Virginia, I'm going back to work today. She was completely blind, and Virginia said, what are you doing? She said she's going to go back to work as a paralegal. She had no eyesight. And what they did for her at Miami Lighthouse, this woman who lost her eyesight was going back to work as a paralegal. Now, what the state would have done would have stepped in and given her a check and let her sit back and have a mediocre life. But because of the skills and training and everything that she got at Miami Lighthouse, she was going back to work. To me, a challenge is just that, and it's something that's supposed to be overcome. And that's why I wanted to come down here and say thanks to Miami Lighthouse for helping so many people overcome the challenges that they encounter every single day. And I wanted to be here personally to say thank you to all of you. I really, truly, honestly do appreciate it. Thank you very much.